Welcome to today's episode of Radio Shakespeare, brought to you by IKEA's lounge chair, Bass Pro Shop's nighttime binoculars, and Zen counseling services. Today, we join the adventures in Messina, where a couple of couples get into a bit of trouble over a bit of something, or is it nothing? It's up to you to decide. For Hero and Claudio, it's love at first sight. For Benedict and Beatrice, it's something rather more hostile. Enjoy tonight's tale of wit, well-meaning, friends, and worrisome tricks. At this moment, a company of soldiers led by Don Pedro is approaching the country estate of his old friend Leonato. A messenger arrives to Leonato's to deliver the news. I learn in this letter that Don Pedro of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort, and none of name.
I find here that Don Pedro hath much bestowed honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, doing in the figure of the feats of a lion.
I pray you, is Signor Montanto returned from the wars or no?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of Padua.
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh Lord, he will hang upon him like a disease. God help the noble Claudio. If you have caught the Benedict, it will cost him £1,000 ere he be cured.
Don Pedro's approached. Good Signor Leonato, you are come to meet your trouble. The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Her mother hath many times told me so.
She would not have this head on her shoulders for all Messina, as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What my dear lady disdain, are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she hath such meet food to feed it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then is a courtesy turncoat, but it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And if I could find my heart, and that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to woman, they would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God in my cold blood, I am of your humor for that. I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall escape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twere such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer, but keep your way at God's name. I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
Scene 2. Don Pedro, his soldiers, and the ladies go in, leaving Claudio and Benedict in the courtyard. Claudio just has to get something off his chest.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonato?
Would you have me speak after my custom, as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee speak in sober judgment.
Why, ye faith, methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise.
Thou thinkst I am in sport. I pray thee tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her, that you inquire after her?
In mine eye, she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Is it come to this? Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 again? Look, Don Pedro has returned to seek you.
What secret hath held you here, that you followed not to Leonato's?
He is in love. With who? Now that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonato's short daughter.
If you love her, for the lady is very well lovely.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up. I likewise give her most humble thanks. All women shall pardon me. I will do myself the right to trust none. I will live a bachelor.
I shall see you there ere I die. Look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love, I shall on to dinner.
Scene 3. Don Pedro and Claudio speak about Hero and come up with a plan. At the masked party that night, Don Pedro will talk to Hero and gauge her interest. Having secured her union, Don Pedro will negotiate with Hero's father so Claudio can marry her. The plan is set. Don Pedro's brother, Don John, is up to his old tricks again. When his coup against Don Pedro failed, Don John apologized and was forgiven, but he's still on the lookout to wound Pedro, Claudio, Benedict, really anyone. Of Don Pedro's men, Conrad and Baraccio are still loyal to him. We hear them in the garden just before dinner.
Good year, my lord. Why are you thus out of measure sad?
The sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
I could not hide with what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no man's jests, sleep when I am drowsed, and tend on no man's business, laugh when I am merry, and claw no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath taken you newly into his grace. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. In this it must not be denied, but I am a plain-dealing villain. Let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me. Who comes here? What news, Baraccio?
I came yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on?
Marry, it is your brother's right hand.
Who, the most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
Which way looks he?
Marry on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
How came you to this?
As I was smoking a musty room, comes me the prince and Claudio, and there heard it agreed upon that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him in any way, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, my lord.
We'll wait upon your lordship.
Scene 4. After dinner, but before the masked party with music and dancing, Leonato, his daughter Hero, and his niece Beatrice speak of marriage. Was not Don John here at supper?
How tartly that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I am heartburned an hour after.
He is of a very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between him and Benedict. The one is too like an image and says nothing, and the other too like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get thee a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
Just, if he send me no husband, for the which blessing I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in a woolen.
You may light upon a husband that hath no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman. He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me. And he that is less than a man, I am not for him.
Daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer. The revelers are entering. Make good room. As the party starts, Don Pedro approaches Hero to woo her for Claudio. Masked, they walk, and he charms her. Beatrice recognizes Benedict in his costume and resolves to tease him by gossiping about how foolish Benedict is to himself. When she leaves, Pleased with herself, Don Pedro returns from Hero to find his friend sputtering with indignation.
I see the Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you.
Oh, she misused me the past endurance of a block. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester. I would not marry her, though she were endowed with all that Adam had left him before he transgressed. Come, talk not of her. I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for certainly while she is here, a man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary.
Look, here she comes.
Will your grace command me any service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the antipodes that you can devise to send me on, rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy. You have no employment for me?
None, but to desire your good company.
Oh God, sir, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure this lady tongue.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord.
You have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I would not he should do me, my lord, lest I should prove the mother of fools. I have brought Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
Claudio, I have rode in thy name, and fair heroes won. I broke with their father, and his good will obtained. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, and all grace say, Amen to it.
Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you, and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or stop his mouth with a kiss.
Bravo! Bravo! Aww.
In faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, my lord, I thank it. Poor fool, it keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
And so she doth.
Good Lord for alliance, thus go every one to the world but I. I may sit in a corner and cry, hey ho for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
I would rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your grace ne'er a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands, if a maid could come by them.
Will he have me, lady?
No, my lord, unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day. But I beseech your grace pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, and to be merry best becomes you, for out of question you were born in a merry hour.
Niece, will you look to those things that I told you of?
I cry you mercy, uncle, by your grace's pardon.
By my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There's little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad but when she sleeps, and not ever sad then. For I have heard my daughter say she hath often dreamt of unhappiness, and waked herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She mocks all of her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Oh, Lord, my lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
Count Claudio, when mean you go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord, tying goes on crutches, till love have all his rights.
Not till Monday, my dear son, a week from now.
You shake the head at so long a breathing, but I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall not go dully by us. I will in the interim undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. If you three will but minister such assistance, as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am for you.
And I, my lord.
And you too, gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
I will teach you how to humor your cousin, that she shall fall in love with Benedict, and I, with your two helps, Well, so practice on Benedict, that in despite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. Go in with me, and I will tell you my drift.
Scene 5. Enter John and Baraccio.
It is so. The Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonato.
Ye, my lord, but I wait. Ye, my lord, but I can cross it.
Any bear, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. How canst thou cross this marriage?
I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in the favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero.
I remember. I remember.
I can, in any unseasonable instant of the night, appoint her to look out at your lady's chamber window.
What life is in that? To be the death of this marriage?
Go you to the prince your brother, spare not to tell him that he has wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio to a contaminated stale such as one of the Hero.
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, and kill Leonato. Look for you any other issue?
Only to spite them, I will endeavor anything.
Draw on Pedro and the Count Claudio alone. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. They'll scarcely believe this without trial. Offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window. Hear me call Margaret Hero. In the meantime, I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent, and there shall appear such seeming truths of Hero's disloyalty.
Be cunning in the working this, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be thou constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
I will presently go learn their day of marriage.
We now take a break from the action for a word from our sponsors. Nothing takes the edge off of a stressful day like eavesdropping and like relaxing in the new IKEA lounge chair. And now you can stick out the foot holder and store your favorite drink in the cup holders. Bask in the glorious Messina sun while you gossip with your chums about who's in love with whom. Easy assembly, guaranteed. Much easier than telling someone you love them. But hurry, available only while inventory lasts. Our story continues the next day as Don Pedro sets about putting his plan into action. First, the guys work on Benedict. Then the ladies work on Beatrice. We find Benedict alone in the garden talking of love. Scene 6.
I do much wonder that one man seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, while after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love, and such a man is Claudio. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another is wise, yet I am well. Another is virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Oh, here comes Prince and Monsieur Love. I'll hide me in the brush.
See you where Benedict hath hid himself?
Yes.
Come hither, Leonato. What was it you told me of today? That your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedict?
I never did think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither, but most wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedict, whom she hath in all outward behaviors seemed ever to abhor. By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection.
Has she made her affection known to Benedict?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed, so your daughter says. Shall I, she say, that have so often countered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
She'll be up 20 times a night, and there will she sit in her smock till she have writ a sheet of paper. Having writ the paper, she then rends the letter into 1,000 pieces, and rails at herself that she should be so immodest to write to one that she knew would flout her.
I would she had bestowed this dotage on me. I pray you tell Benedict of it, and hear what he will say.
Were it good, think you?
Hero surely thinks she will die if he love her not, and she will die if he woo her.
She doth well, that she should make tender of it. Love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it. Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go see Benedict and tell him of her love?
Never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Well, we will hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cool the while. I love Benedict well, and I could wish he most modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy to have such a good lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If he do not dote her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let there be the same net spread for her, and that you must, your daughter, and a gentlewoman carry. Oh, let us send her to call him in to dinner.
Sucker.
This can be no trick. The confidence was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero. Love me? Why must it be requited? When I said I would die a bachelor, I didn't think I should live till I were married.
Scene 7. Enter Hero, Margaret, and Ursula. The gentleman's job done, it is time for the ladies to do their part. Hero, Margaret, and Ursula prepare to play the same trick on Beatrice. According to Hero's plan, Margaret sends Beatrice out to the garden where Hero and Ursula share the news of Benedict's love for her and talk up all of his good parts. Once they see Beatrice is hidden, Hero turns to Ursula and says,
No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince, and my new troth lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They didn't entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they love Benedict, to wish him wrestle with affection, and never let Beatrice know of it.
And therefore certainly were not good she knew of this love, lest she make a sport at it.
Why do you speak truth? I never yet saw a man, how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she was fallen backward.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions, as Beatrice is. Cannot be so commendable, but who dares tell her so?
Yet tell her of it, hear what she will say.
No, rather I will go to Benedict and counsel him to fight against his passion.
Oh, do not your cousin such a wrong. Having so swift and excellent a wit as she is praised to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Senior Benedict.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll shew thee some attires and have thy counsel, which is the best to furnish me tomorrow.
We have caught her, madam?
If it prove so, then Lemon goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
What fires in mine ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride adieu. And Benedict, love on, I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in a holy band.
Scene 8. Both traps are set and sprung. Beatrice and Benedict are starting to see each other differently. Dinner is over, and Don Pedro and Claudio are walking about when they are approached by Don John.
My lord and brother, God save you.
What's the matter?
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow?
You know he does.
I know not that one he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
I came hither to tell you, the lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she, Leonardo's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. Go but with me tonight, you shall see her chamber window entered. Even the night before her wedding day, if you love her, then tomorrow wed her. But it would better fit your honor to change your mind.
May this be so?
I will not think it.
If you will follow me, I will show you enough, and when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
I see anything tonight. Why should I not marry her tomorrow in the congregation, where I should wed, and there will I shame her?
And as I rode for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no farther, till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly but till night, and let the issue show itself.
We now take a brief break from our programming to deliver these words from our sponsors. Is your fiancé being disloyal? Are they always falling for random strangers? Well, worry no more. With Bass Pro Shop's nighttime binoculars, now you can see through any walls, veils, or trickery. That means that what you see is what you get, which means your fiancé will never hide anything again, satisfaction guaranteed, or your money back. Scene 9. We are back in Messina, where there are all kinds of characters. Now we meet the watchman of the town, the chief of the watch, Dogberry, his right-hand man, Verges, and the eager George Seacole. With all the guests, soldiers, and wedding preparations, they are working extra hard to keep the peace.
Well, give us our charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
George Seacole, for he can write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is the gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature.
Master Constable.
Verges, you are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man for the constable of the watch. Therefore, bear your lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How if a will not stand?
Why then take no note of him, but let him go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave.
If he will not stand when he is bidden, then he is none of the prince's subjects.
True, and they are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and talk is most tolerable, and not to be endured.
We'll rather sleep than talk. We know it belongs to a watch.
One word more, honest neighbors. I pray you watch about Signor Leonardo's door, for the wedding being there tomorrow. There is a great quarrel tonight. Adieu, be vigilant, I beseech you.
Well, masters, we hear our charge. Let us go sit here upon the church bench until 2, and then all to bed.
Enter Baraccio and Conrad.
Conrad?
Now forward with thy tale.
Some treason, masters, yet stand close.
Therefore, no, I've earned Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that any villainy should be so dear?
Thou shouldst rather ask if it were possible any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will. Be still. Didst thou not hear a noise?
No, 'twas the vane on the house.
Know that I have tonight wooed Margaret, the lady hero's gentlewoman. By the name of hero, she leans me out at her mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I should first tell thee how the Prince Claudio and my master planted, and placed, and possessed by my master Don John, saw afar off in this orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought thy Margaret was hero?
2 of them did, the Prince and Claudio, But the devil, my master, knew she was Margaret. Away went Claudio enraged, swore he would meet her as she was appointed next morning at the church, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her in what he saw o'ernight, and send her home again without a husband.
We charge you in the prince's name, stand.
Call up the right, Master Constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery.
Masters,
Masters, never spake. We charge you. Let us obey you to go with us.
We are like to prove a goodly commodity being taken up of these men.
commodity in question. I warn you. Come, we'll obey you.
Scene 10. It's the wedding day. All are dressed and ready, waiting for the ceremony to start. There's a sense of tension and anticipation in the air. The wedding march plays. Hero and Leonardo walk down the aisle where Claudio stands with Don Pedro, and the friar begins.
You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady.
No.
To be married to her. Friar, you come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count?
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, I charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any hero?
No, my lord.
Know you any count?
I dare make his answer, none.
Oh, what men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do. Will you with free and unconstrained soul see this maid your daughter?
As freely sown as God did give her me.
And what have I to give you back, whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you're under her again.
There, Leonardo, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor.
What do you mean, my lord?
Let me move one question to your daughter, and bid her answer truly.
I charge thee do, as thou art my child.
What man was he talked with you yesternight out at your window betwixt 12 and 1? Now if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why then you are no maiden. Leonardo, I'm sorry you must hear. Upon mine honor, myself, my brother, and the sweet count did hear her at that hour last night, talk with a ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed most like a liberal villainy, confessed the vile encounters they had 1,000 times in secret.
O hero, fare thee well, most foul, most fair, farewell.
Under the shock of Claudio and Dom Pedro's accusations, Hero faints. Leonardo is angry and embarrassed if his child has done what she is accused of, seeing another man before her wedding to Claudio. Leonardo wishes Hero would never again wake. That would be better than to live with the shame of adultery. When Hero comes to, it seems only Beatrice and the friar are on her side. The friar advises Leonardo to let it be known about town that Hero has died of her shame until some explanation can be uncovered. Dom Pedro and Claudio are too honorable to accuse Hero with no reason, and Hero's reaction too strong for someone who is guilty. Benedict supports the friar by saying it has the flavor of Don John about it, and Leonardo agrees. Hero, Leonardo, the friar all go, leaving Benedict and Beatrice alone, and he says to her,
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that. I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is that not strange?
As strange as the thing I know not, it were as possible for me to say, I love nothing so well as you, but believe me not, and yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me?
Do not swear by it and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you. Come, bid me, do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Stay, Beatrice. We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is it not approved in the height of villainy that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman?
But Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone.
Tarry good, Beatrice. By this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I'm engaged. I will challenge him. You go comfort your cousin. I must say he is dead, and so farewell.
We'll be back with the thrilling conclusion of Radio Shakespeare, Much Ado About Nothing, in just a moment. But first, these words from our sponsors. Are you having issues being understood by your coworkers? Have you had grudges you just can't explain? Are you experiencing an overly dramatic inferiority complex with your legitimate brother? Well, now there's Zen Life counseling services so that you can face the consequences of your actions in the comfort of a shrink's office. Free of judgment, for the most part. Scene 12. Back in Messina, after Verges and George Seacole caught Baraccio and Conrad gossiping about what happened to Hero, they were immediately arrested and taken in for questioning before Dogberry. They confess everything, however. Don John has fled and left them holding bag. Oh, and Hero died of heartbreak after being jilted at the altar. Dogberry and Verges take the man in handcuffs to Leonardo's estate to tell the tale. Benedict has a mission he must fulfill for the love of Beatrice, and Claudio and the prince are looking to be cheered up after the drama of the morning. The three men meet in the courtyard.
We've been up and down to seek thee, for we are high proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
As I am an honest man, he looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You're a villain. I jest not. I will make it good. How you dare. With what you dare and when you dare. Do me right or I'll protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavily on you. I take my leave.
He is in earnest.
In most profound earnest. And I'll warn you, the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee.
Most sincerely.
Come you, sirs, if justice cannot tame you, she shall never weigh more reasons in her balance.
How now? Two of my brother's men bound? Officers, what offense have these men done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanders. Sixth and lastly, they have belied a lady.
First I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what their offenses. Sixth and lastly, why they are committed, and to conclude what you laid to their charge.
Sweet prince, let me go no farther to mine answer. I have deceived even your very eyes. What your wisdom could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light. When the knight overheard me confessing to this man, how Don John, your brother, incensed me to slander the lady Hero, and saw me court Margaret in Hero's garments, how you disgraced her when you should marry her, my villainy they have upon record. The lady is dead upon mine and my master's false accusation and brief. I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Runs not this speech like the iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison while he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee on this?
Yea, and he paid me richly for the practice of it.
He is composed and framed to treachery.
And fled he is upon this villainy.
Sweet hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved at first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time our sexton hath reformed Signor Leonato of the matter. And masters, do not forget to specify when time and place shall serve, that I am an ass.
Here comes Master Signor Leonato.
Which is the villain? Which of these is he?
If you would know your wronger, look upon me.
No, not so, villain, thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men. A third is fled that had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death.
I know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Choose your revenge yourself. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin.
I cannot bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both, tomorrow morning come you to my house, and since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. My brother hath a daughter, almost the copy of the child that's dead, and she alone is heir to both of us. Give her the right you should have given her cousin, and so dies my revenge. Scene 13. Claudio agrees to Leonato's terms. He will marry the cousin of Hero in the morning. In another part of the house, Benedict has sent a message to Beatrice asking her to meet him. He has something important to say.
Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I called thee?
Yea, Signor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, stay but till then.
Then is spoken. Fare you well now, and yet ere I go, let me go with that I came, which is with knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
I will tell thee plainly. Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I will subscribe him a coward. And now tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
Very ill too.
Serve God, love me, and mend.
Madam, you must come to your uncle. It is proved my lady Hero hath been falsely accused, the prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don John is the author of all, who is fled and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you go hear this news, Signor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes. And moreover, I will go with thee to thy uncle's.
Scene 14. Now everyone knows everything. How Conrad, Baraccio, and Don John played the trick on Don Pedro, Claudio, and the rest of the house. Hero's good name is officially restored. Now Leonato and his family must play out their trick to the end. We hear Leonato tell Hero, Beatrice, Ursula, and Margaret, "Well, daughter, and you gentlewomen all, withdraw into a chamber by yourselves, and when I send for you, come hither masked."
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, Signor?
To bind me, or undo me, one of them. Signor Leonato, truth is good, Signor. Your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That I my daughter lent her, 'tis most true.
And I do with an eye of love requite her.
The sight whereof I think you had from me, from Claudio and the prince. But what's your will?
Your answer, sir, is enigmatical. But for my will is your good will may stand with ours. This day to be conjoined in the state of honorable marriage, in which, good friar, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with your liking.
And my help.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, Prince Pedro. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with my brother's daughter?
I am.
Call her forth. Here is the friar ready.
Which is the lady I must seize upon?
This same is she, and I do give you her.
Why then she's mine. Sweet, let me see your face.
No, that shall you not, till you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand before this holy friar. I am your husband if you like of me.
And when I lived, I was your other wife. and when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero?
Nothing certainer. One hero
What
died
hero?
their field, but I do live, and surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, but while her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify. When after that the holy rites are ended, I'll tell you largely of fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonder seems familiar, and to the chapel let us presently.
Soft and fair fire, which is Beatrice.
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
Why, no more than reason.
Why then your uncle and the prince and Claudio have been deceived. They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Troth, no more than reason.
Why then my cousin Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
Come, cousin, I'm sure you love the gentleman.
And I be sworn upon that he loves her, for here is the paper written in his hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain, fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, written in my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedict. A miracle. Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by this light I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
How dost thou benedict the married man?
I'll tell thee what a prince, a college of wit crackers cannot flout me out of my humor, for man is a giddy thing. And this is my conclusion. For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee, but in that art thou like art to be my kinsman. I live unbruised, and love my cousin.
Come, we are friends. Let's have a dance.
Ba-da-da-ba-da-bum-bum. The end. Tune in next time to Radio Shakespeare.